Hello everyone, welcome to Nutrient Nirvana's Love Not Fear, episode number 14. My name's Paul. This is my co-host with the most, my brother from another mother, author Jack Cox. How are you doing, Jack? All right?
Hi folks. Yeah, I've had a wonderful week, mate.
Oh, really?
Got a funny story to tell happened to me over Christmas.
Brilliant. Let's start with a funny story.
Over the Christmas holiday. It was not that funny, it's heartwarming. I went into my local pub one day between Christmas and New Year. I can't remember exactly. Went in for lunch, which I often do. And they brought me a parcel. And they said, Mrs. Clues has dropped this off and asked us to give it to somebody spending Christmas alone. And we've nominated you. I could have got the hump and said, I don't need charity, but no, I didn't. I accepted it in the spirit in which it was offered.
Oh, lovely.
And I'm wondering, I will never know whether there might have been a tragic story behind it, maybe a husband that didn't make it till Christmas, unused gifts. But whatever it was, it just warmed my heart. And it fitted in with my philosophy of giving and not asking for any reward, and paying it forward. And I took the food items out of it, which I don't use, and gave them to the food bank, and gave some of the items to the charity shop, and kept a really nice shirt and a really nice T-shirt and a torch. So thank you very much, Mrs. Clues. Nice. And it's just a lovely story to start Christmas. Not start the year with, but more or less.
Yeah. Brilliant.
If you consider,
brilliant.
You consider
That's a lovely story. Merry
if
Christmas.
you consider the year starts at the winter solstice, then it's a story to start the new year with.
Exactly. Jack, mate, I'm just thinking, actually, we've probably got a few new viewers with us today. So for those of you that haven't seen Jack before, Jack has written a few books, but one in particular is very much the focus of this show. It's called Love Not Fear. And could you kind of just explain what the book was about, Jack, and where you're coming from and where we're coming from as a show?
Right. Well, the book evolved out of my earlier book, Rupert Murdoch's Hitmen, which was about how the mainstream media are in bed with the governments of the world, the supranational governments, the big pharma, the military-industrial complex, the police, the courts, ensnare us in their web of lies. And then I got thinking about this web of lies and where it started. So the latest book, and it's quite an old book, it's sort of 4 years old now, The Love Not Fear, builds on that. It talks about this web of lies as being the game we did not devise. We were born into a game we did not devise, where the rules are stacked against us in favor of the globalist elite. We have no way to win that game. The only way we can win is to stop playing that game and devise a fairer one. And in the book, I talk about how we can devise a fairer game. I talk about 10 pillars of utopia. And one of those pillars, the main pillar, the thing I keep banging on about, is to move away from fear. We have to move away from money, away from bean counting, and set up a free gift economy. Not worldwide, not straight off, just little small groups, possibly built around community gardens, where the community is thrown open to other skills other than gardening. Everyone can contribute what they do without counting the costs, without asking for any reward, as St. Ignatius said. And I think that's the main way forward. It's the bean counting that causes the fear. The fear of not having enough. The fear that we're always looking over our shoulders. The fear that someone's going to get one over on us. And that's the main thing I keep banging on about. But I also mentioned 9 other things, or basically 8 other things, because the The top pillar is a capstone, which encapsulates everything, which I nicked off Bill and Ted.
Yeah, that's right.
Be excellent to each other. And if we
Yeah.
can just live by be excellent to each other, to live from generosity instead of meanness, love and generosity instead of fear and meanness, everything changes. To help the Joneses keep up with us instead of trying to keep up with the Joneses. When we make that shift, that mental shift, switch that mental switch in our heads, even if only in small groups to start, everything begins to change.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Paul will put a link down below because he's hosting tonight. I'm sure Paul will put a link to it down below in the
I was just going to say, Jack, that
down below description.
You can buy this book off your website or off Amazon, I believe, but you also offer it as a download for free in PDF format, I think.
Yeah, you can buy it in Kindle or paperback through Amazon, or you can download it for free off my website, lovenotfear.uk.
Yeah, brilliant. And I've read this book. It's absolutely brilliant. And it gave me the idea, or I contacted Jack shortly after reading it and asked him to start doing this show because if you read it, it's just a fantastic book. And it's got so many ideas and solutions attached to all the problems we're currently experiencing at the moment. So it's highly recommended. Please go and get it. So
you,
go on, Jack. Sorry, mate.
I just said thank you.
That's all right.
Thanks for the plug.
Yeah. But it is really worth reading. It's a great book. It's very well written, and just get a copy.
This series of shows is named after the book, and it sort of follows on from the book and brings it up to date with things that we can do, groups we can join, which aren't mentioned in the book. Just brings it up to date because the book was written 4.5 years ago now.
Okay. So I've been thinking about freedom over the last few days, really. I've been asking myself, what is freedom? There's an awful lot of people, which is fantastic, demanding freedom at the moment, shouting freedom on protests and things like that. But do they actually fully grasp what I think freedom is, what freedom should be? So I'm just going to key up a little image for us. Bear with me 1 second. There we are. So, freedom, how are we defining it? Freedom is being free from any form of slavery. Currently, we are a slave to the state and to the financial system. Many good people around the world at the beginning of COVID have taken to the streets and demanded freedom. But what is their concept of freedom? Certainly for many of them, the old normal or pre-COVID world is their concept of freedom. Do we all want to go back to the old normal? To a normal where many people hated their jobs, were overworked, undervalued and underpaid? Back to the old normal where propaganda controlled the minds of people? Back to the old normal where the high-ups in society lived in unimaginable opulence while abusing children and orchestrating our slavery? Back to the old normal of crony capitalism, corrupt governments and politicians, and a health system that makes huge profits from keeping you in a state of sickness rather than health. Freedom should mean being free from any form of slavery. So when you scream freedom at your oppressors, please understand exactly what you are screaming for. Your thoughts, Jack?
Repeat after me. No one has the power over me.
No one has the power over me, apart from my missus.
Absolutely. If you live by that, their power exists only through your consent. If you refuse to consent, there's a thing that's been going around on Facebook, and I can't remember who said it originally. No one follows, no one leads.
Exactly. And this is why we've been talking about non-compliance and civil disobedience for weeks now on this show. If we just if we don't join in with the insanity, it's all going to fall apart. And I think we're seeing that, to be honest. There are so many people now that are waking up, people that woke up at the start of the pandemic. And it's just it's growing exponentially at the moment, the amount of people that are waking up. So do not comply, do not comply. Just go about your business as normal. Take good care of your health. That's very important. Some of you might know, some of you might not know that I run a health business, and we supply essential nutrients for people like vitamin C and vitamin D, magnesium, iodine, etc. And if you're taking these supplements in meaningful doses every day, it's very hard to get sick. I've been doing this for 15 years now, and I haven't had a cold in all that time. And I used to get a cold once a year on average. So it works. So, that's what I would say. But yeah, non-compliance, Jack.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The wheels are coming off their bus, and they're coming off fast. You can see it everywhere. And if you look on my group that I run, which is, we'll put a link to that below as well, please, Paul, Facebook group, Love, Hope and Unity. I put lots of stuff on there that's relevant. And there's several astrologers that have all said the same thing, that it's all going to start to shift around about March.
Okay.
March this year. I'm not saying it's all going to be over by then. I'm saying it's going to start to shift around about then. That's
very interesting. March of this year. Okay. We'll look out for that. I actually got contacted, and it's just reminded me of something that happened to me recently on Facebook. Somebody out of nowhere contacted me and said, stop doing this. Stop posting stuff that, is against the government or against, what's going on at the moment, because everything's being tracked, everything's being traced. And when the time comes, they'll come looking for you, type of thing. And they also mentioned, I'm trying to remember the right words here, the Kundalini, is it? Which is an age that we go through. And evidently we're entering this age now, and it's like a dark age for man. And we've just got to play it safe, be quiet, and put up with it, basically, was the message he gave me. And I'm sorry.
You're talking about the age of Aquarius?
No, I don't think
Aquarius.
It's obviously from the Hindu religion, this. And the way I looked into it, and this particular age he's talking about lasts for something like 20-odd thousand years. So I don't think it's like the age of Aquarius, because those ages are not as long as that, are they? So it's something else. But
Kundalini is the rising of the energies up the spine.
Yeah, that's why I might be getting the wrong words here. I'm not too sure, but it was something along that. Yeah, somebody's just show. Somebody here has just mentioned Louise Reed. Hello, Louise. Happy New Year to you. Kundalini awakening. I don't think it was that, and now I feel like a prat for talking about it and not remembering what the exact words were. It was very similar to that. Kuli yoga, something like that. Anyway, either way,
let's look at it a different way. Let's look at it a different way. Just as we can all individually experience a Kundalini awakening, we can experience one collectively. If enough of us experience it, if enough of us raise our energies, then there will be a communal, a planet-wide Kundalini awakening.
Yeah, it's about raising your vibration.
Maybe that's what you're referring to.
Yeah, or trying to be on a higher frequency and raising that vibration.
Happy New Year, Louise, and very prosperous too.
Yeah, so if we all do that, that's going to have a real effect on everything. We've got another comment here from Mr. Carl Hudson, who says Kundalini is a state of meditation. Yeah, well, this word, I think it's two words, and they begin with one of the first word begins with a K, and it's referring to an age that we all go through, like a cycle of time, and it's connected to the Hindu religion. and it goes on for a very long time. We're talking like tens of thousands of years, literally. And this guy was saying to me, look, there's nothing you can do about this. We've got to go. We're going through this this new age of the whatever it's called, and just lie low, play it safe. Don't make yourself a target, you know, for the authorities, etc. And he doesn't know me very well, obviously, because that's the last thing I'm going to do. You know, if there's just all this injustice and insanity that's going on at the moment, you know, I'm not going to stay silent on it, you know.
Well, you know my position on it, don't you? I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. Exactly. They can charge me. They can fine me. If they fine me, I will not pay the fine. I will choose to go to prison. And if enough of us do that, and I'm firm about that. I'm firm about that. Mm-hmm. And if enough of us make that stand, they'll run out of cells and have to give up.
Yeah, absolutely.
But even if I'm the only one, I'm going to do it. I mean, if Nelson Mandela could do it for how many years? I can certainly do it for the few. Like that, yeah. I can certainly do it for the few years I've got left to fight tyranny that we're experiencing now.
Absolutely, yeah, 100%, mate. Okay, so shall we move on to our little sojourn down the rabbit hole? I've got some. I wanted to talk about star thoughts this week.
Before we get into that, Paul.
Okay.
Before we get into that, can I just make a couple of urgent announcements?
Of course you can, mate.
Because both things have to be acted on today. Just bear with me a second. Now, the first says an urgent petition you may wish to sign. Stop poisoning. Ban glyphosate in Europe. Will glyphosate finally be banned in the European Union this year? Roundup, Monsanto Bayer's famous weed killer, was reauthorized for 5 years at the end of 2017 after numerous scandals. Monsanto papers, lawsuits in the United States, illegal acquisition of journalists' and activists' private data. An extension of this authorization is being debated again, and the battle is far from being won. Dangerous for the environment and public health, it is more than urgent to do away with glyphosate in France and in Europe and to start a real agricultural and food transition. It's been known since 2015 that this substance is classified as probably carcinogenic to humans by the International Agency for Research on Cancer, an agency of the World Health Organization. Recently, the National Institute of Health and Medical Research in France strengthened the analysis of risks associated with glyphosate. Emmanuel Macron has promised to phase out glyphosate in France no later than 2021.
That's good news.
He didn't keep his promise.
I was going to say, yeah.
But France, which will take over the rotating presidency of the EU this year, can and must play a leading and ambiguous role to ban glyphosate in Europe. Let's demand together that France publicly oppose the renewal of the authorization of this toxic pesticide. Please sign the petition. I'll put the link below in the description, or Paul will.
Yeah, after the show, I'll stick the link on.
Please, Paul, yeah.
Yeah, we'll do. Yeah.
By the way, the petition asks for your phone number. Just leave this field blank if you don't want to give it. The form still goes through.
Great. Cheers. Yeah, so glyphosate, people, is arguably probably the worst toxin that we're having to deal with at the moment. It's all over the food. They spray it in town centres. They spray it in children's playgrounds, in school playgrounds. And as Jack was saying, it's extremely likely that it's carcinogenic. It's extremely toxic. So, yeah, something needs to be done about this. I was recently interviewing a man called Clive de Carle, who is a very well-renowned health researcher. And he was telling me that glyphosate is in this E10 fuel that everyone is currently using at the moment. And so
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah.
we're all driving about chucking out glyphosate as well, which is so it's really, really, really serious now, and we've got to do something about it. Just final thing on that, if you don't know, I sell something called fulvic minerals, and that will neutralize glyphosate and graphene oxide. So fulvic minerals is something that is really good to have in your medicine cupboard. I take 7 drops every day in clean water, and I don't have to worry about all that toxic shit. So that's we've got a few comments coming in here.
And I'm looking forward to mine arriving, Paul. Really looking forward to it, getting started on it.
Yeah, brilliant. It's on its way to you, Jack.
Brilliant.
Abigail Irvine is here. We know Abigail. She's a friend of Elder's Wisdom. It's great to have you, Abigail. I'm really happy to see you. She says, good evening, boys, from a wet and cold Scotland, late as usual, where we forgive you. Happy New Year. Prosperous New Year to you, Abigail. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Abigail.
Yeah. And anyone else who's watching, if you've got any questions, any comments to make, please feel free to do so. We want this to be as interactive as possible. We've got somebody coming up later on in the show today who's going to guide us all through a mindfulness meditation. So please stay around for that. That should be really good. Abby has just said, we had it sprayed in our community garden. I had to rush little hedgehog to the vet. Oh dear, it's just you know,
horrendous.
Yeah,
and quite unnecessary.
Yeah, of course it is. Of course it is.
We should be working with nature, not against her.
Exactly, mate. That's the very thing. I think it was the inventor of permaculture, a Japanese man called Fukuoka, who said something along the lines of the more man moves away from nature, the more trouble we end up in, or words to that effect, and that is what happens.
Yeah.
Sorry. Hello, Cheryl Carey. Thank you for the invite. You're welcome.
Hello, Cheryl.
Prosperous New Year to you, Cheryl. And Abigail's just chipped in with Happy New Year, boys. Went back onto Facebook just for you lot. No, very honoured. Very honoured. Thank you. Wow, that's cool.
That's really appreciated. Thank you.
Cheers. Okay, so I think...
Right, the other urgent thing I need to mention before we move on, if you don't mind, just to get these 2 urgent announcements out of the way. Now, I'm going to be talking in code here because we don't want to get banned, but I'm sure you all know what I mean. And this is another one that has to be done today, please. This is urgent. Deadline before the 4th of January, so please take action today if this applies to you. A group of NHS workers are trying to gather concrete evidence to stop the mandatory Jabberwockies. It's frontline NHS workers now, but if no one fights back, surely next it will be all NHS teachers, then mandatory for everyone, passports required, etc. They need hard Jabberwocky related evidence. Please send to loisbayliss at, well, I'll put the link below anyway. From the law firm Broad Yorkshire Limited. Yeah, loisbayliss at broadyorkshirelimited.co.uk. We are gathering evidence related to suspected or confirmed Jabberwocky injuries. Please note this is not a route or about financial compensation. The statements, with your permission, are to be used as evidence and forwarded to the Metropolitan Police in order to support a criminal investigation by Dr. Sam White, lawyer Philip Hyland, and retired Constable Mark Sexton. This was made on the 20th of December 2021 into the Jabberwockies and the injury, harm and death being caused. The statements may also be used in connection with a case against the MHRA. Again, the links are going below. We appreciate this is very difficult and a worrying time for so many. But we, as many as possible, come forward and give your account. We would appreciate contact if you have been harmed by the V. A loved one has passed away and it's believed to be as a result of the V. As difficult as this may be, if there has been any miscarriages or stillbirths as a result or attributed to the V. We appreciate this subject is sensitive and emotive. We will be sensitive, patient and respectful of all your wishes while recounting these distressing incidents. 4. Irregular, stopped or postmenopausal periods post-V. 5. Fertility issues. 6. If you know someone who has been injured and you can pass these details on to them, we will be very grateful. If any NHS staff wish to speak out about anything they have witnessed, then please also make contact. We do appreciate how difficult this is for everyone concerned. We expect a lot of contact and ask you to be patient while we organise and arrange contact with you in order to obtain the necessary details. Thank you. And that's signed by loisbayliss.
Brilliant. Okay. Yeah, send me the link, Jack, and I'll stick it down underneath in the show notes after.
Yeah, I will do, Paul.
Brilliant.
I mean, that's a heavy one, but it's very urgent and it needs to get out today.
No, I was reading the other day that in Canada, I think stillbirths in the last year have gone up 28 times compared to where we were prior to 2020. So something going on there, definitely.
There's definitely something going on. And later on, if I have time, because I've got lots of small snippets to do later on, and if we run out of time, I'll put some of them over to next week, because none of them after this, nothing that follows is that urgent. But I've got another that's relevant to this.
Okay.
What's been said?
Yes,
I've said.
Hold on. Let's scroll down and see all these lovely people. What we got? Abigail has frogs living in my back garden. That's not a random comment. That's referring back to the hedgehog she had to rescue due to the glyphosate being sprayed.
Yeah.
Glyphosate.
But she's also made a comment about the NHS.
Hold up.
I'm ex-NHS, still friends with some bosses, even if they could smell something was wrong when they put out papers saying they can't be sued. So what is this crap? Yeah, exactly. What is this crap?
Yeah, exactly. I think we've got to wait 55 years to find out, haven't we? Something like that.
If you've got anything relevant for that inquiry, Abigail, then please get in touch today with them. It's urgent. And as I say, Paul's hosting tonight. Paul will put the links below in the description.
Okay, right.
Thanks.
Is it time to go? That's all right, mate. Pleasure.
Yeah.
Is it time
let's have your special presentation on sport.
Right. Yeah. I'm very excited.
I'm really looking forward. I've been looking forward to this all week.
So have I, mate. Yeah. Okay. So just before I get started, I should explain. This is all about ancient star faults. So I don't know how many of you that are watching now have ever heard of a star fault or an ancient star fault, but they're very interesting. I'd heard of them, but then I was talking on my channel on YouTube to a guy that I've mentioned already, Clive the Carl, and he brought the subject up, and he was like, "Oh, these are way more interesting than pyramids. This is just incredible stuff." And me and Jack are really into our ancient history and all that sort of thing. So without any further ado, I'm just going to key it up now, and we'll get started. Here we are. Right, okay. And yeah. So I'm just going to try and remove that comment as well before I start. Brilliant. Okay. So, star thoughts. What are they, or what were they? Who built them, and for what purpose? These star thoughts are officially dated as being built around the 16th and 17th centuries, but many of them are megalithic in nature, and some star thoughts appear to be constructed on top of older structures. Why did the builders go to such extraordinary lengths to build structures of such geometrical magnificence that you can only appreciate them from the air? If they were just meant to be used for defensive purposes in battle. So, as per usual, the official explanation of these things seems at best pretty incredulous. There are tens of thousands of ancient star thoughts all over the planet and continents. A commonality they all seem to share is that they are all surrounded by or close to water. Some of you may already be aware that many pyramids and megalithic structures are also closely connected to water. Why is this? Okay, here's me and Jack again. So, when it comes to humanity's ancient past, we are left with many, many questions. We are like a species with amnesia, completely disconnected from our ancient past and the astonishing achievements of our blessed ancestors. I'd suggest that, like the pyramids, these star thoughts were ancient acoustic power stations that provided a form of free energy to the people and settlements that were close by. In the book of Genesis, God spoke the world into existence. In the book of Joshua, the walls of Jericho were brought down by sound or trumpets. Sound technology and the ability to move objects using sound, vibration, frequency is today a real science in the modern world. Is this how the ancient megalith structures were constructed? Is cymatics connected in some way? While I was looking at images of ancient star thoughts, I noticed that some of them reminded me of crop circles. Is there a connection there? Were our ancestors building these star thoughts on top of crop circles? And this is one in Japan, which is just incredible. You can see it's all surrounded by water. I'm trying to think of the what word, geomocracy, the geometrical pattern going on there is just incredible. The size of it is phenomenal. And see if you recognize this one. So, any ideas, Jack, on that, if you can still hear me? He's probably
no idea at all, Paul. You carry on, mate.
That is the Pentagon. That's the Pentagon in America. And doesn't it look just like it's a 5-pointed star thought? Here we've got the Vatican, again, very similar in style to an ancient star thought. And this is my favourite one that I'm going to end it on. There's the Statue of Liberty. And if you look at the foundation of it, you can clearly see that it sits on top of a star thought, an ancient star thought. And it's obviously surrounded again by water. So, food for thought, mate. So that is the end of my presentation on star thoughts. There we go.
Right. Well, I don't have a lot to add to that because that's completely new to me. fascinating. Certainly worth looking into. Can you do some more for next week?
I will do, because I started looking at this properly a couple of days ago, and after about 20 minutes of doing it, I suddenly realised I could spend years researching this. It's just an amazing subject. So I'm being waved at by someone. Do you want to come on? I'm just going to see if I can. You're not muted. So Teresa, can you say something? Can't hear. Maybe you've muted yourself. Just see if you've muted yourself. Say something. No, still nothing. I'm just going to key up Teresa now. I think I know what I'm doing here.
Hello.
There she is. So this is my friend and sister-in-law, Teresa.
Hello.
Hello there. Hello.
Hello, Jack. I was watching something about this, and the acoustics. Because if you look within all them star faults, there's pillars.
Yes.
The pillars around the building that would create sound, that would allow sound and vibration to travel through.
Definitely. Yeah.
Very exciting. Very exciting.
So I'm going to have to do a part 2 on this, I think.
You are breaking up to me. You're up, love. Can you sit a bit closer to the device?
Can I come closer? Is that better?
Lovely. Yeah, I can hear you better now. Yeah.
Great. Okay. So
interesting and exciting.
Yeah. So Jack, did you want to? Should we move straight on to Teresa now, or did you want to add anything to what we just spoke about?
Move straight. I'd like to do mine after Teresa, because
I don't mind disappearing again.
Time available.
Okay. Who's in charge here?
Teresa's still breaking up. Teresa's still breaking up.
She's fine at my end, mate. I can hear Teresa fine. So maybe it's your audio. Either way, right.
Maybe
we've invited Teresa on today to guide us all through a mindfulness meditation. So without any further ado, I'm gonna get rid of me.
Hello. Welcome. I'm very excited to be here, and we're going to journey through this mindfulness meditation and bring you all back to the present moment, and really tune in to how we're feeling. And it's something that you can do throughout the day. Use it anytime. It's a technique that is going to be really beneficial. So I want you to find a comfortable space, whether you're sitting or lying down. Hopefully you can hear my music in the background. Something to focus on. Relax your eyes. Just soften your gaze. Just breathe. Allow this meditation to reground and center yourself. Bring your attention to the physical sensations and experiences that are happening right now in this present moment. Take a few moments to really settle in and get comfortable. Becoming aware of your surroundings and of your environment. Tune in to any sounds that are around you and notice what is present in the current moment. Know that these sensations, thoughts, and these feelings will rise during this meditation, and try to simply just notice them. There's no need to attach any feelings, no need to become involved. Instead, just become the observer by staying present. Just let these thoughts come and go. Settle into your body, settle into your space. Bring your awareness to your physical body and notice the weight and the density. Notice the support on the ground beneath you. Now this is your space. Shift your awareness to the natural flow of your breath. And without changing anything, just simply notice how it feels to breathe in and breathe out. Notice when you inhale, the stomach rises, and with every exhale, the stomach contracts. Now follow the full path of your breath. Feel it as it comes in through your nostrils, as it hits the back of your throat, fills the lungs and into the stomach. Notice that pause between the inhale and the exhale. Just simply observe the breath. If your mind wanders, bring your attention right back here, right back to this space, and right back to your breath. Now bring your awareness to the crown of your head and notice any sensations, any tingling, any cool or hot feelings, any pulsating. And try not to change anything. Just become aware of the feelings and the sensations that you are feeling. Moving down your body, bring your attention to your forehead. Become aware of your eyes, your cheeks. Relax your jaw and relax your tongue. Notice any tension around your throat and your neck. And release any tension in these areas simply by breathing. Now bring your attention to your shoulders and allow them to melt and settle down. Bring your attention to your arms and your hands and notice any sensations in the fingers and the fingertips. Come to the front of the body, the chest, the lungs, the abdomen. Sense your heartbeat. feeling as it pushes against your chest. This is your body and your space. Feel the rise and the fall of the breath. You are here and you are safe. Shift your attention to the back of the body. Feel any sensations down your spine, the middle of the back, your lower back, your hips, your waist, pelvis, your legs and thighs, all the way down to your knees. You can feel your legs getting heavy and melting into the ground. Notice any sensations in your calves, in your ankles, in your feet. Notice your feet against the floor and any sensations and feelings you may have. Can you feel the tingling in the toes? Just observe. There's no need to attach to these feelings. Just breathe. Now focus your attention on your whole entire body as a whole system. Notice how your clothes feel against your body. Notice its temperature and any feelings, any physical sensations, any tingling. Be fully present and be fully aware in this moment. Allow your body to just relax and soften. Bring your awareness to your breath. Focus on the inhale. Focus on the exhale. And just stay here for a moment. when you're ready, gently bring your attention and your awareness back to the room. And I thank you all for joining me on this guided meditation tonight.
All right, that was really nice. I feel great.
Good. I feel better too.
Brilliant.
I was so nervous before I come on.
But you didn't come across nervous at all. I was in a very nice place. Thank you very much.
Good. Good.
Do you enjoy that, Jack? Jack, you're still on mute. Oh no, I've got to unmute you. Hold on. Say something, Jack. Oh, he's back.
Hello, boys and girls. Those are pretty sure. Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah, thanks, Teresa. Can you come again? That was lovely.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, I can.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, we'd love to do that again or something similar.
Yeah.
Thank you to Teresa as well, because Teresa invited me to join a group recently on Facebook called Community United. Hello to anyone from Community United who are watching this.
Hello.
In the chat box. Yeah, it's a fantastic group, Jack, and it's growing exponentially. It's full of awake people. I live in a small area, a small town really, and we've now got loads and loads of members, and we're talking about, or they're talking about, starting a community garden, which I think is a brilliant idea.
Brilliant.
I'd like to be involved in something. Yeah, so we're, they're walking the walk as well as talking the talk. So it's in my local area in Essex. I'm in Corringham, and it kind of incorporates Stanford-le-Hope as well and Grays and stuff. So yeah, I'm really happy to be part of that group. We're also meeting once or twice a month in a local pub, having local meetings together and getting to know each other and coming up with ideas and stuff. So it's all taking place, Jack. It's all really happening, mate. It's really good.
Brilliant, mate. Put the links.
I will do. Yeah, good point. I'll link it down below the show notes. Yeah, fantastic. So I'll let you go, Teresa. Thanks very much for that.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you. And I will see you all again soon.
You will do, definitely. Thank you. Cheers, mate. Bye. Yeah, that was good. I was in a very nice place there. I was very aware of just the space I was in, and I felt very grounded and centered. And that was expertly guided by Teresa, I thought. So, yeah, more of that, please.
Before that, Cheryl was saying something about star thoughts, I think.
Ah, right. I'll scroll down. Hold on. I'll cue that up.
She's been following a little bit on this. I think she's talking about star thoughts. Would you like to elaborate, Cheryl?
Yeah, if you could elaborate on that, Cheryl, because we'd love some information from yourself if you've got some. Very, very interesting, Paul. Please, more, please. So, yeah, he's down a rabbit hole. That's definite. Yeah, I do like going down a rabbit hole, and that one is extremely deep. So, I'm going to be following up on that over the next 2 or 3 weeks. And a nice message from Cheryl saying, "Thank you, Teresa." Like that, and yeah, we all like that. That was lovely.
Paul, you've muted us, mate.
Oh, bollocks! Are you sure?
Oh, wouldn't it be boring if it all went straight forward, eh?
Well,
you muted yourself.
I'm not on mute. Teresa, can you hear me? Teresa can hear me, Jack. It's just you, mate. If anyone's in the chat box, can they say, "Can you still hear me?" But I don't know what happened there anyway. But yeah, they're saying I can hear you, so yeah, it should be all right. Okay, so yeah, anyone in my area, look up Community United on Facebook because they're a really good group. They're communicating with themselves all the way through the day on Facebook Messenger. There's some great information that's shared on there as well. And there's regular meets and stuff, and hopefully a community garden as well, which would be a really, really good thing. So look them up on Facebook, people. We've got somebody here with the interesting name of Lee Montagnard, probably said that wrong. I want to join. Jack, do you know who Le Montagnard is? Le Montagnard is... What's he? Saying he wants to join anyway. I'm not sure what you mean. What do you want to join? Do you want to join the Community United group, Lee Montagnard? If so, we'll link it down beneath the video. Abigail says, is there one in Scotland? I presume she's talking about the Star Force. Almost certainly, because there are tens of thousands all around the world on every single continent. They're massive. They're everywhere. So I'll look up for you, Abigail. I'll see if I can find one in Scotland, but there'll definitely be a few, no doubt. I know I think there's 9 in Ireland, and there's loads in France. France is a hotspot for some reason for ancient thoughts. So yeah. You all right, Jack? Can you hear me, Jack? I think Jack has lost my sound. So, but people can still hear me out there as far as I know. We've got a message here from a Francis Baird, and she's speaking in France. So apologies to anyone French out there. I'm about to attempt to say on te croyez mort. Mort means death. I don't know. Okay. So Jack's now watching me on this. It's all gone a bit mad. But personally, I'm really happy that the Star Thought thing went really well. The mindfulness meditation done by Teresa went really, really well. It's all gone a bit mad. But personally, I'm really happy that the thought thing went really well. The mindfulness meditation done by Teresa went really, really well. I'm listening to myself now on Jack's face. Okay, what I'm going to do, everyone, is wrap it up now. I've just all gone completely mental. It doesn't usually happen like this. But anyway, there'll be some links underneath the video after this. Live TV and all that. I'm never working with Jack Fox again. I don't mean that, he's lovely, really. Right, okay then, and I shall see you all next week at 6:30 for another unpredictable episode of Love Not Fear. Thanks everyone for coming. Great to see you, Abigail, Cheryl, Teresa, obviously, who was really great tonight, and anyone else who's commented, Carl Hudson, Louise Reed, all you wonderful people out there, Community United. Thanks for watching. Join us again next Monday. Sorry for the cock up at the end. And love you lots. And hold on, I've got something to show you at the very end. There we go.